Seth Rollins has a gang of masked goons that look like the Putty Patrol. CM Punk got confronted by the Usos. Randy Orton turned on Cody Rhodes. AEW's rivalries are getting more and more violent. And the internet sensation, Ricky Sosa, just debuted in TNA. Let's talk about it on this episode of the Crimson Mask Show.
Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. I got this, you can't buy. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie.
All right, Mask Gang, before we get started, the first thing I want to say, like I always say, is thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to watch the Crimson Mask Show. And if you're here, please do all the things that we like. Like the video, subscribe, turn on your notifications, hit the hype button, do all of that stuff. It'll help us with the algorithm, and ultimately, it'll help us grow. Now let's get into the show. Okay, now I know you guys get upset when I crap on stuff. I try my best to be positive and not crap on stuff. But it got a little excessive on Raw with Seth Rollins and what I can only describe as the Putty Patrol. Now, for those of you who aren't old heads, and trust me, I know who my demo is. You guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. He kind of looked like he's hanging out with the old Power Rangers Putty Patrol. Now, I won't take credit for that. That's something I seen on one of the social media platforms. They did look like the Putty Patrol. You know, he put on this mask, he descended back into the people that kind of just ran around. You know, like the old Putty Patrol. WWE, what are we doing here? What the hell are we doing here? Like, I understand the complications of this storyline. You guys didn't expect Braun Breaker to get injured when you started it. You didn't expect Bronson Reed to get injured when you started it. Now we're supposed to believe that Seth Rollins needs the Putty Patrol to handle Logan Paul and Austin Theory? Come on, man. Like, I don't know how you're going to scrap this. I don't know what you're going to do, but this is not the way. Now, I'm not always negative. Something I really did enjoy last week on Raw was the segment between the Usos and CM Punk. Last week, I had said in the video that if the Usos' response to what CM Punk said to Roman Reigns wasn't fuck you or them kicking his ass, then WWE is doing it wrong. So I do like to see the fact that they confronted CM Punk, they demanded an apology, and that it got physical when they didn't get it. WWE is going in the right direction with this. I know a lot of people aren't happy and they think that, oh man, CM Punk, because you got people that love CM Punk unconditionally, and you got people that hate CM Punk unconditionally. People are going to say, I hate CM Punk, I hate Phil, and you know, some people are going to chant CM Punk. So they have a problem with him being in the main event of WrestleMania. They have a problem with him being champion. But I do like the direction they went here. So they have a lot of different avenues, and they have a lot of different possibilities. I was talking to somebody on X, and I seen them saying that the bloodline story just keeps on giving. And I said it's like a zombie that just won't die, but it's a good zombie. It's a good one, you know, because every time they need a storyline to pick up steam, they go back to the bloodline. Because now they're forcing us to confront who the Usos going to side with. They're going to side with their family, but does this mean that they're going to try to screw over CM Punk? Is Solo Sikoa going to get involved? Like, how deep are they willing to go with this? So I like that. It feels good. It feels like that particular storyline is picking up a lot of steam heading into WrestleMania, and I think WWE is on the right track with this one. Speaking of getting on the right track, we're slowly starting to see the Cody Rhodes storyline get back on track. Cody Rhodes is another very polarizing figure in professional wrestling. You got a lot of fans that hate his guts. You got a lot of fans that love him. A lot of fans are like, damn, how many times is this guy going to be in the main event of WrestleMania? Is he the new Roman Reigns? Is he the new John Cena? Is he being pushed down our throats? That's what people are saying to Cody. But on the flip side, you got people that just absolutely love Randy Orton. Randy Orton decimated Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. He absolutely decimated him. He was in '09 Randy form. He was in '09 Randy form. And the people cheered. The people absolutely cheered Cody getting the dog shit beat out of him. And you know what? I'm not a Cody hater. I don't really have an issue with how Cody's been booked. My issue more so has been the structure and how they've gone about it. Like, if you knew that you wanted Cody to be in the main event of WrestleMania, then why do we have Drew win the title in the first place? Like, it kind of just feels like they're all over the place and they're having a pivot left and pivot right. But I feel like they finally settled in on something that we all knew eventually they were going to get to, a Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton feud. Now, would I had liked to seen Cody be the one to turn heel? Yes, that's actually one of the bigger knocks on Cody Rhodes, that he refuses to turn heel. That's what the IWC is saying, that Cody refused to turn heel. That's why he got booed out of AEW, and that's why he's starting to get booed now. But I also think another big reason he's getting booed now in this particular instance is because people just love sadistic, sick, and twisted Randy Orton. And that's who we got. He bashed Cody head in. Now, how are they going to follow this up on SmackDown? Because there's no way in hell you're just going to have Cody Rhodes waltz in the next week on SmackDown after getting the shit beat out of him like that. You can't do it. So it's going to be exciting. So I want to go into the details of just how I knew Randy Orton was turning heel. And if you follow the channel, if you follow the other channel, you know I've been distrusting of Randy this entire time. He's kissing babies, he's high-fiving kids. That's not the Randy Orton that we've come to know and love. So when Randy Orton came to the ring and he didn't have on that goofy blue John Cena style shirt that he's come out with, he had on the black and white RKO Everybody shirt. I said, oh shit, we're about to get something here. Then, as Cody kept cutting Randy off, by the way, as Randy's getting ready to explain, that, hey, man, I expected this to be Drew McIntyre. I wanted to get into the zone. I wanted to get crazy. I wanted to go psycho. Cody's like, hey, no, Randy, I know you're hearing the voices. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, man. Give me the voices. Give me the '09 Randy. Give me the Legend Killer. Give me the sick and twisted Randy. No matter what happens, I'm going to love you. And those are the three most deadliest words in WWE. I love you. So when he said that, Randy Orton gave him a hug, because that's what you do to people you love, right? Then he bashes his head on the table. Then he kicks him in the nuts, throws him out the ring, beats the living shit out of him, busts him wide open. Everybody's trying to save him. Boom, bash to the head. I thought he could have finished it off, put the cherry on top by punting his head off. But maybe he got that in his back pocket. Maybe he's saving that one for Cody. But he said something. Another thing is, Randy said something during the contract signing that sounded really familiar. It sounded really familiar. WrestleMania 17 hype. Stone Cold and The Rock. When Stone Cold got ready to turn heel, do you remember what Stone Cold said? He sat down in the interview and he said, I need this. I need that championship. When Randy said that, I already knew what time it was. I knew what time it was because the last time I heard that, Stone Cold ended up hitting The Rock with a chair 100 times and siding with Vince McMahon. So those were the trigger words. I knew what was going on. And so now we got a little spice in this rivalry. We got a little spice. So much has happened in professional wrestling this week. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Judgment Day turning on Finn Balor. I've been of the belief this entire time, and I've been telling Petey Stunt. This. Check out Petey Stunt. I've been telling Petey Stunt this. I think Finn Balor is going to get a push. I don't know how that push is going to present itself, but he's going to be doing more than what he's been doing, which is basically being a goofy. He hasn't been Prince Devitt. He hasn't been the real shooter, but I think you're finna get the real shooter now. As long as Finn doesn't turn back into Balor for everybody, as long as he don't turn back into that Finn Balor, then I think we good to go. He needs to beat the shit out of first of all, forget Dominic. I know a lot of people are going to focus on the Dominic Mysterio aspect of this. He needs to beat the shit out of JD McDonough and put him out of commission because that was supposed to be his boy, his big head ass. That's supposed to be his boy. And look what he did. Look what he did. Turned on him, left him land. Dominic, yeah, we all know Dominic's a punk. We all know he's a punk. That's his character. But JD, Finn got to get his get back on JD if he don't get it on nobody else. As for what I think this is going to lead to a WrestleMania, it's probably going to lead to Dominic versus Finn Balor. A lot of people are saying the demon is coming. The demon is coming. We'll see. I'm not going to step out on the ledge and say the demon's not coming, but just based on what Finn Balor said in his interviews, he said that he don't want people to think that the only way for him to win a match is by becoming the demon. So here's my suggestion. Here's my little crazy idea. You guys know I like to fantasy, but here's my crazy idea for Finn Balor if we want to see the demon. If we're going to see the demon Finn Balor, then it has to be the Judgment Day versus Finn Balor the demon at WrestleMania. We need to see Finn versus Dominic and JD McDonough in a handicap match versus the demon, and then the demon needs to win. That way, everybody gets what they want. Finn Balor gets to say that he won the match as the demon, but he beat two guys. He gets to win. The Judgment Day gets to say, hey, we didn't know he was going to have to go against the demon. He said he wasn't going to turn into the demon anymore. And then, but whatever the case is, off of the back of that, Finn Balor needs to get a push. One of the biggest crimes to me in WWE history is how he got de-pushed after he got injured and came back from his injury. How they gave us a watered-down Finn Balor. People forget how dominant and how over Finn Balor was in NXT. People forget that when Finn Balor first came to the main roster, he went for the top and he got to the top and he won the Universal title. People forget that. He needs to get back to some version of that. Maybe he doesn't become as dominant as he was with all the big names that's on the WWE roster right now, but Finn Balor definitely needs to settle into that old Chris Jericho spot where he wins the title here, he wins the title there. So by the time he leaves WWE, he needs to at least hold a main title 3 more times. I don't want Finn Balor to be a guy that's a perennial Intercontinental champion. He's not even that. So we're going to see what's going to happen, man. I hope this whole thing leads to Finn Balor getting a push, because if there's one person I think deserve it, is Finn Balor.
I'm so tired. What am I going to do? Quick shout out to our sponsor, W Energy. If you need focus without the sugar crash, this is that clean energy option. No jitters, no weird aftertaste. I use it when I'm ending or recording late. If you want to try it, use my code MFGDEEZ. That's MFGDEEZ at the checkout. Appreciate W for supporting the show. Now let's get back to this wrestling content.
And now for my weekly update on the who's the most dangerous man in AEW between Swerve Strickland and Brody King. I feel like I'm talking about it every single week. This week, Brody finally got his get back. Swerve tried to choke him out with the chain. Brody broke the chain. Brody started choking Swerve. Brody started choking. Now, I feel like it's important for me to show some love to the sickos here and there, because Lord knows that pro wrestling content creators love to pile on AEW. So I'm gonna stop piling on so much, but I'm also still gonna be fair and objective when it comes to AEW. I'm not gonna act like I'm sipping a Kool-Aid. So far, I'm liking this feud. I like that AEW didn't have Brody King get beat up by Swerve again, because what you don't want to do, what one of the big criticisms for AEW is that they don't know how to book big men. So it was going to be an issue if for another week in a row, Swerve got the better end of the deal against Brody King. Brody King is too big, too dangerous looking to have Swerve Strickland sneaking up on him and kicking his ass every week. So I'm glad that this week they turned it around and they let Brody get one. I hope they keep doing it. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. And I love Swerve Strickland. I don't always agree with what he says in interviews. I don't always agree with it seeming like he's sipping the Kool-Aid of Tony Khan all the time. But I will say this. I think that the way Tony Khan should book this, when Swerve and Brody have their match, Brody King needs to beat the living dog shit out of Swerve Strickland, a la Dave Batista and Triple H in a Hell in a Cell match. He needs to do that. I think they're in a Hell in a Cell match. It wasn't an Elimination Chamber. I think it was Hell in a Cell. But he needs to beat the shit out of Swerve Strickland. I think Swerve Strickland has a better chance of surviving getting decimated by Brody King than Brody King has of losing against Swerve in a physical, violent match. I think it will cost Brody King tremendously as far as his aura if Swerve Strickland beats him in that match. I think Brody King should win that match, and I don't even think it should particularly be close. I think that if Swerve Strickland was to get dominated in that match, you could almost rebuild Swerve from the ground up and make him even more dangerous, even more cunning than he was before. Because right now, Swerve has been able to get by in these type of situations just on sheer viciousness, doing vicious things, doing things that other AEW wrestlers outside of maybe John Moxley would do. So, I mean, I think you should just have Brody King destroy him because Brody King can't afford to lose that type of match to Swerve Strickland and still come out the next week barking and, looking tough and being tough. It'll be a big hit to the believability of Brody King if he loses that match. So I hope it's booked right. Another thing I seem to talk about on a weekly basis is MJF and Hangman Page. Now, this week, AEW tried something a little bit different. They had the press conference in the backstage that got heated and turned into a brawl. And during that press conference, AEW fans just couldn't fucking handle it. They couldn't handle something being different. But once it got back to what AEW fans are used to, which is chaos and brawls, they started chilling. They started cheering. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go on a broader scale. This week, I'm not going to talk so much about MJF and Hangman Page because I think that speaks for itself at this point. We already know what the stakes are. We already know what needs to be done. What I am going to talk about, though, is AEW sickos being adverse to things being different. I understand that AEW is the alternative to WWE. I understand that. But come on, guys. There is some room for a little flexibility in what type of content is being shown on AEW. Everything doesn't have to be chaos, kicking out of false finishes, dives, new indie guys showing up and getting matches against main event stars. Like everything doesn't have to be that. You want AEW to grow. You want AEW to compete with WWE. You got to be able to embrace some different aspects of professional wrestling sometimes. Otherwise, you're going in the opposite direction of WWE. One of the big criticisms that a lot of you guys have of WWE is, it's always sports entertainment. They always bring in celebrities. Now, AEW, if they want to sprinkle a little bit of that in there, let them. Let them try everything they could try to bring more eyes to the product. Let them find out what doesn't work so they can find out what does work. And they try something. They try something new with this press conference during the show, turned into a brawl. And I get people were thinking that maybe it was pre-taped or whatever, and that's why they were upset. Fine. But, you don't got to be vocal and boo every damn thing just because it's not chaos and going 100 miles per hour all the time. Let them cook. Let them figure this shit out, okay? You want to compete with WWE, you're going to have to embrace a little bit of change, and you're going to have to bite some of their shit sometimes. WWE bites off of AEW all the time. They do little shit that AEW does, then take credit for it. That's a two-way street, my friend. Let them do some shit that WWE does sometimes, because who knows? Maybe it'll bring in some more casual fans, and it'll bring more eyes, bring more ratings, and bring more promise to AEW in its future. Strong content from AEW this week. Strong content. No pun intended. Roderick Strong. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was a huge undisputed era mark. So anytime I could take a moment to show Mr. Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and wherever the hell he is, Adam Cole, some love, I'ma do it. And I'm so glad that this week Roderick Strong finally escaped the stagnant storyline that he's in with Orange Cassidy, and he chose the side. He picked the side. Now, don't get me wrong. They probably shouldn't trust Roderick Strong. They probably shouldn't, but at least for right now, it appears that he's on the side of Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin to go against the dogs. So now I find it interesting that he chose that side, because I swear it really did seem like he really just wanted to fuck up Orange Cassidy for weeks. But he's on the right side. I mean, you got to have a third guy. But again, if I was Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, I wouldn't trust Roderick Strong. I wouldn't trust him. Maybe if it was Kyle O'Reilly, I would trust him. He's historically been more trustworthy than Roderick Strong. But for now, we'll see. We'll see if Roderick Strong stays on that side, because he seems to be very conflicted in general. But it should be an excellent match, man. The dogs, I know that I said I don't know these guys' name, but Gabe Kidd, David Finley. Now the other guy, I don't know who the hell he is. I don't know who the hell that dude. Look, man, if I learn your name, that mean I either fuck with you, I'm starting to fuck with you. I don't know that dude's name yet, so we gonna see where that goes. But Roger Strong is that dude. Roger Strong, honestly, Roderick Strong is probably one of the most underrated wrestlers in professional wrestling. The Messiah backbreaker. Like, I always felt like he should have gotten more flowers and acclaim than he got in WWE, and that he's getting in AEW, because he was an absolute fucking stud in Ring of Honor. So I don't know. I think he's in an okay place right now as far as like his storylines. I don't think AEW is ever going to put like the AEW title on him or anything. But him being involved in these type of storylines is good for him. He's involved, and I mean, that's what matters. But we're going to see. But one thing I know that we're going to get once it happens is the Dogs versus Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Darby Allin is going to be a great match. Bang, bang. Sosa. Man, that boy fire, man. That boy fire. I think there's no place in professional wrestling for alienating any group of people. That's including whether you're white, blue, black, brown, whatever, green. There's no place for alienation. Everybody all should be pushing towards the same goal, and that's making great professional wrestling. But what a treat we have. Just take a moment right now to just respect professional wrestling. What a treat we have right now where we can have guys like Ricky Sosa, Leon Slater, Javon Evans, Kevin Knight. Just take time to just appreciate what we have. And I don't want to get into the whole, as a black guy, like as a black man, I really do appreciate what's happening in professional wrestling right now. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of haters and naysayers that are going to say that still not enough is being done. But I'm sorry, 10, 15 years ago, like you had what? Kofi Kingston, and that was pretty much it. And now you just have so much young black talent stepping onto the big stage lights. And I'm look, trust me, I don't like to make everything a race thing. That's not my style. But I do think it's okay to acknowledge that in addition to everybody, it's nice to have some representation. And that's just the men. That's before we even get to, you know, the Soul Rukas. Yeah, that's right. Soul Ruka. Kiana James is, and to add on to the Jade Cargills, the Bianca Belairs, like I just think it's great just all across the board that we're getting this. Because I tell you right now, when I look at some of these guys, Swerve Strickland, he's a part of that too, dude. Like all the people I named, in addition to guys like Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, all these guys are the future. They're the future, not just of black wrestling, but of professional wrestling. And I think that's pretty awesome. And when you take that and you take everybody else that's there and just put it all together, it just makes all the products just better as a whole. Ricky Sosa in particular, because that's what this is about. He had his debut on TNA, but let's take it even broader. Let's make it even grander than it already is. Let's make it even grander than it already is. When you think about how can we get TNA to be from here to get it up here, you got to start identifying your pillars. So what I would say now, honestly, and this is me being honest, completely honest. Right now, TNA has two pillars. They have two pillars. They're not quite where AEW is. They're definitely not where WWE is. Right now, TNA has two guys that I feel like you can be comfortable building the entire company around. And that's no disrespect to the vets like Mike Santana, Kazarian, Moose, guys like that. But we're talking about putting a young nucleus in place for TNA for them to build up. You got Leon Slater, and now you got Ricky Sosa. That's a start. And one of the most important things you got to do is not let WWE take these guys. Do not let that happen. Do not let it happen. You got to build around these guys. Yeah, you could throw Trey Miguel in there too, but there's a reason why they initially allowed him to go to AEW. Trey Miguel is a supreme talent, but I don't feel like you could build a company around him like guys like Leon Slater and Ricky Sosa, guys that became big outside of TNA and then joined TNA. I think the future is super, super, super bright for Ricky Sosa, especially when you get to the point where he's either teaming or feuding with Leon Slater. That shit is going to print money. It's going to print money. And I can't wait for it. It's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for viewing our show today. I really appreciate every single person that takes the time to make it this far in the video. And I hope you tune in next week, where we're going to bring you more hard-hitting facts and opinions from the Crimson Mass Show. And if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, hit the hype button. It'll help us with the algorithm. I'll catch you guys next time on the Crimson Mass Show. We are out of here.